We work for the Daily Monitor Nation Media. Yesterday, Mr. Paul Okumu said that an investigative journalist must have a network. But I think in that network, the investigative journalist needs a cartoonist also to answer a few unanswered questions. A certain friend of mine somewhere there said certain topics are too boring that people do not pick interest in them. This is where we come in. Like they usually say, that a picture speaks 1,000 words. People are endowed differently. One who can read 10 pages, one can just look at a picture and it drives them to the topic. Okay? He talked about date being a tool of control. Okay? I would want the moderator there to help me with those illustrations. He talked about date being a tool of control, okay? That date is a it is used to manipulate people and keep them entrapped, okay? So from that presentation, I and my colleague, we thought this presentation would do to represent date as a tool of a trap, okay? What happens if you're trapped? You don't have any movement, okay? You're always there where you needed to be, okay? But in most cases, I want this to be a discussion, okay? So I would love to have around 2 people or 3 to first give me their full detailed interpretation of that. What do you interpret in that in regards to date? Yes, sir?
Okay, so, I obviously see there's money, obviously debt, and an African country that's now caught up in this debt, and that looks like a coffin to me, eventually leading to the death of the economy. That's my interpretation.
Yes?
For me, the fact that there is a person, one person with the head that symbolizes Africa, for me I interpreted it as one person representing like a leader, because when these decisions are made, there is a leader that is involved. So the fact that the leader's neck is trapped, but then the whole head of Africa is implemented in the trap, it also means that one leader, of course there's one leader, but if that leader's decision is leading into a trap, the whole continent is also trapped into the death.
Did you get her interpretation? One more?
Yeah. To me, I find it's very interesting. The debt is very interesting. That the one who is giving debt is representing a coffin.
Sorry?
And the one who is giving debt. Yeah, I'm looking at the coffin to be the lender. Of course, the one who is trapped is Africa. Interestingly, there's the money that is being enticed, but the end result, both the lender, the one who is trapped, and the money go to one place, and the coffin you bury it. So there's no winner in debt. So this illustration tells me that even the one who is lending eventually is going to die. because you have to bury to bury the coffin.
Yes? Yes, please.
Let me also hazard my attempt at interpreting this. So, if you look at this picture, there is a red star up there, right? I think we all know the flag of China. For me, that's how I'm interpreting it, right? Okay. Africa as it is, if you look at it, it's tilting its head towards the east. And I interpreted it as getting to China. And this would talk about or be highlighting China's debt trap policy with regards to the African region. Africa is eating that money, right? And you're seeing some flaps somewhere else, which means that could be misplaced money, right, as well. So, yeah, and that's a trap with a coffin, right? That's basically a debt trap that would lead Africa to its demise, maybe fiscally. So that's how I can take it as well.
Yes?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
When I look at the picture,
Who is
the
it?
person who...
Oh, yeah.
Okay, when I look at the picture, the person who is on top of the coffin, to me represents a country, an African country, who is eating, the funding that has been given to her.
Yes.
And then the crumbs equally represent the mismanagement of the money, and the red star and the coffin just indicates that the high indebtedness, which would later make the country to be vulnerable to the funding.
We can clap for them, really. Everyone has, so, yes?
A comment I don't want to let go. This it makes me feel a bit depressed, a bit like not really, but you know what I mean. Because when I look at this trap, I think about rats mostly because they want to get trapped, and we usually feel like they are foolish. Like how do they keep on falling these traps over and over again? And if I was to use this one, and maybe someone from the West sees it, they say like those Africans are actually foolish, which is a bit contrary to what I was talking about when you say Africa rule maker. Because when you have this image, you cannot see a rule maker anywhere here. You see a rule taker who just gets traps and gets whatever comes, goes, it's okay. So I feel like, yes, I see foolishness, yes, but I would be hesitant to portray Africa in that manner, in line with what you're talking about being a rule maker.
Okay. In the depth of it, a quick interpretation of that. Everyone is right in their own interpretation, okay? Everyone is right because there is an aspect that relates to debt mismanagement in everyone's perspective, okay? Thanks for that, for the role maker. But then, in the real sense of it, it is showing how deadly debt has trapped. Are you getting me? How deadly debt has kept Africa in a trap. That every penny that we are given, we eat it, okay? And if we eat that money, we can't return it. This is showing already used money, okay? We can't return it. At the end of the day, we are burying ourselves as a continent. Because when we can't return the money that we've been given and we eat it, meaning it is not used for its purpose, we are burying ourselves as a continent, okay? And that is where Mr. Paul Okumu said that debt is used as a tool to control us. Because when you can't put back the money that you've been given, you can be used to do anything in the interest of the person who has given you the date. Is it okay? Is it okay there? Everyone is satisfied? No? Everyone has their own interpretation. Okay. Can we get another one more cartoon? No, you can get the other one. Looking at it? Looking at it? That is something that my colleague Chris Ogon came up with in relation to what we've been discussing, date. Still, I would love to pose the same questions to you to interpret for me what you make of that.
Alors moi je vois le nouvel acteur vers qui se tournent en ce moment les pays, la plupart des pays africains, la Chine. Donc pourquoi est-ce que je dis c'est la Chine? On voit une main qui est tendue en train de donner, enfin avec des baguettes chinois ou japonais en main qui a attrapé un bébé qui se trouve juste à côté d'une assiette. Donc je reprends, puisqu'il n'avait pas perçu ce que j'étais en train de dire. Je disais que Alors, là, cette image m'inspire le nouvel acteur vers lequel la plupart des pays africains se tournent en ce moment, qui est la Chine. Pourquoi je dis c'est la Chine? Quand on regarde la caricature, on voit une main avec des baguettes dans la main, sur le doigt, enfin, qui sont dans la main. Et puis, la couleur de la veste, c'est les étoiles du drapeau de la Chine. Maintenant, il y a un bébé qui est tenu par les baguettes. Ce bébé, je pense que c'est un Africain ou de façon générale l'Afrique qui voit un peu l'assiette que la Chine est en train de lui tendre, qui comporte certainement des spaghettis. Donc c'est pour dire que là encore, à travers ces baguettes, c'est pour montrer qu'il tient les États africains à qui il propose la nourriture qui est représentée par l'argent de façon imagée. Cette nourriture, c'est l'argent que la Chine tend comme un piège aux Africains pour les maintenir comme le font les Occidentaux également. Merci.
Any other contribution?
I'm thinking about Africa, thinking it's coming, it's being invited to eat, yet it's about to be eaten.
Exactly. Yes?
C'est dommage parce que c'est d'une réalité en même temps triste et hilarante. Quand je vois ça, je discutais il y a quelques jours avec Sandrine et on parlait des Chinois. Et je leur disais peut-être qu'on devrait faire quelque chose sur le sujet, sauf que chez nous, les Chinois sont intouchables. On ne pourrait pas, mais franchement, je pense sincèrement que c'est le plus représentatif qu'on pourrait trouver, vraiment. C'est exactement ça, quoi. On n'a même pas besoin de le traduire. Il se suffit à lui-même. Bravo.
Okay, what I can quickly see is noodles. You know, noodles are a Chinese delicacy, so which means the baby is fat, and that represents Africa. So what the Chinese are doing is they are feeding the Africa as a baby, and you know what the baby does? It's always happy, and when you entice it with goodies, which means the noodles, they are the delicacy of Chinese, and you know they are feeding the baby. So after the baby, look at it, it's very fat. So the end result is, because right now they're using chopsticks, so the end result is they're going to eat it. So that it's a replica of what's happening. We are receiving a lot of loans from China. We are being enticed, but the end result is we're going to be devoured.
Yes, Daniel.
I can see somebody is happy to get a new meal and saying, I've been patiently waiting for you, and come, let's cook you alive.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, but I can also see that the one leg is outside the bowel, which means there's still chance not to be eaten. And also, and also the baby is holding one of the chopsticks, like, no, it's mine. You know, it's wanting to take it away. So that's how I see it.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, for me, I am also seeing that that statement that you want to chill out with big boys. So this is the statement that is actually being used as well. That, you know what, do you want to be like the developed countries? We will come in with the infrastructure building, we will come in with building your roads, we will come in so that you really look like the developed countries. And this baby is so happy and wants to be part of the big boys, you know. Little did the little baby know that it's going to be food.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Well, another thing is, if you can see closely, the noodles are actually hot. The date is, the terms and conditions are crazy. So yeah, it's something that I also observed from that. And you are indulging in instruments that could be troublesome for us. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Ogon.
Yeah, I think everything has been said. What I intended to put across, to communicate, the observations are on point. Only to add one thing, the noodles are, someone yesterday talked about the intricacy of the date. That's why I put the noodles in a way that they're not straight. They are, like he said, they are hot, but they're also intricate in appearance. Yeah.
Well, those are so much of the same reactions from you people. You've really interpreted it so well. Congratulations to Chris Ogon for your thought in that illustration, because once people do not want to read so much of the date, like someone said, we as illustrators, as comic cartoonists, come in and wrap up what a person wouldn't have want to read. We wrap it up that way, so that a person who doesn't want to read that much, like they said it is boring sometimes, can pick that and maybe get interest in the story that he wouldn't have gotten interest into. Some of these illustrations point out or laugh out at things that our leaders do, and the people can pick interest in reading them. We very well know that uninformed mind, can someone complete that? Uninformed mind is unempowered mind. So when a person is drawn to read an article because of an illustration, that is when we continue to empower our people, especially those that do not find reading much of the articles, okay? That's when we come in and make these presentations for them to be drawn to the articles that an investigative journalist could have found trouble reaching out to the public.
And I are the people, hold our governments to